Okay, so, after the success of my top 10 flight sims video, I thought I'd dive into the world of trains and give you my top 20 games of the world of Roblox railroading. Narrowing it down to just 20 games was no easy task. Roblox has a plethora of brilliant games, each catering to various tastes and preferences. But, with the help of many experienced train simmers to help me along the way, I'm here to share what I think are the very best train games that Roblox has to offer. So let's jump right in, starting with number 20. Rails Unlimited presents a visually pleasant experience with decently crafted scenery and a diverse array of trains at your disposal. However, beyond these surface elements, the game tends to blend in a bit, and personally what I think makes it fall short is the absence of standout features. There is no in-game economy or even a compelling multiplayer aspect that will keep players invested in the long run. The driving experience itself is exceedingly straightforward, and the map and route navigation can be a bit unwieldy. Whilst it can provide some enjoyment for a few minutes, Rails Unlimited ultimately fails to leave a lasting impression, regrettably finding itself in the 20th spot. PTA Subway, Callaghan and Madison is an underground New York subway experience. This unique setting means you'll find yourself deep underground for about 60% of your game time, and whilst this is certainly a unique setting, it can quickly get repetitive. The game's visual style is commendable, and although its menus are cluttered, it excels at simulating the New York Underground, even if it does just consist of one long route, which does again limit its variety. Whilst the multiplayer aspect is basic, the New York setting adds an interesting dimension. It's ideal for those seeking an immersive subway experience. The game's UI could definitely be improved, especially with this map being absolutely, well, probably the worst on this entire list. So with all that said, I've placed it here in the 19th spot. Sodor Simulator is a well-crafted tribute to the original Thomas the Tank Engine series, and I believe that it captures the show's charm really well, with its strong styling and visually appealing world. The large map, although lacking in detail in many certain areas, provides a fitting backdrop for enthusiasts for the show. With a decent selection of trains and skins, the game immerses players in the Thomas universe. The UI once again can be clunky when handling switches and carriages, and the absence of a navigational map complicates exploration. But despite these limitations, the game offers a rewarding experience. Earning coins as you play unlocks new skins and adds an enjoyable progression element, ensuring that gameplay remains relatively engaging. For fans of Thomas the Tank Engine, Sodor Simulator provides a nostalgic and enjoyable experience, as long as you can afford the 50 Robux price tag, allowing it to pull nicely into 18th place. Somewhere Wales transports you to a world that's undeniably, well, Wales. The game is set in a fictional Welsh narrow gauge railway line in the late 1930s, and although very quaint, does have a limited selection of trains and trucks. There is no map, which does make navigating an absolute pain until you learn the lay of the land, and the game suffers with a major derailing issue, meaning that you'll often find your routes ruined with lines completely blocked up with overturned trains. This situation is exacerbated when some players take it upon themselves to intentionally disrupt vital routes. Nevertheless, Somewhere Wales retains an undeniable charm and has gathered a dedicated cult following over the years. All in all, it's definitely an enjoyable experience, so I've placed it here in the 17th spot. Rails of D.G County is a game that, to me, is quite reminiscent of Somewhere Wales, but on a somewhat grander scale. The game is set in the 1940s US of A and has more trains, more carriages and more places to explore. The game once again has a very simple UI, including the world's most useless map, being more akin to the creator's tapeworm than any kind of navigational aid, and all in all, it's another pretty game that can happily hold your attention for about an hour or so, before its lack of any real objective will compel you to play something else, dropping it off here in the 16th spot. Snow Hill Lines is the first of our proper simulators, and when compared to its more sophisticated simulator counterparts, it can fall short in several aspects. Its scenic presentation is okay, but comparatively lackluster. The game offers a slightly below average array of trains, and the game, in essence, embodies simplicity, with no standout features to set it apart from any other simulators on this list. Whilst it does have an economy system that allows you to gradually unlock more trains, the progression feels somewhat tedious, and unfortunately, numerous in-game systems, such as signals, speed limits, and multiplayer guards, do not function as intended, adding to the frustration. All of this, compounded by a lack of recent updates, means that Snow Hill Lines may not be an ideal time investment for those seeking a robust train sim experience, and so I've placed it here in 15th place. Metra Train Sim, the first of our row scale simulators, meaning that the game has been built at a much smaller scale compared to your avatar, which, although means it lacks intricate detail, also means that the map can be much bigger. Metra carves its path along one never-ending straight line that, whilst unconventional, offers a distinct American feel. The game boasts a commendable selection of US locomotives and interesting controls that very much feel like you're driving an RC train. However, it is not without its shortcomings. The clunky user interface may leave players somewhat bewildered, and despite the game's visual allure, the lack of intricate scenery surrounding the tracks can be a little jarring. Additionally, we did find a few technical issues with trucks falling through the map on several occasions, and whilst an economy system is present, its lack of intuitiveness left us all puzzled. Whilst immersion is not the game's strong suit, it does offer the option to disable the visibility of other players and position your camera inside that train for a more focused experience. And overall, we were happy enough to place this game neatly into 14th place. Train Sim marks another substantial leap in quality, offering enhanced UIs, meticulously crafted models, and improved scenery. Although the game features only 4 models, the attention to their detail is evident. The game is set in an engaging Eastern European backdrop, whilst the game's map, whilst of decent size, could benefit from more attention to detail, with things like flowers clipping through the train tracks. At present time, players should brace themselves for occasional lag and glitches. I found myself dealing with occasional signal issues keeping me stuck until I had to reset, as well as some other minor gameplay disturbances. The slightly confusing UI and map do pose a learning curve, but the game's ongoing updates inspire hope that these issues will be addressed. All in all, making Train Sim a truly promising title and landing it in the 13th spot. DJMN Lines offers a London Underground train sim experience, invoking both satisfaction and occasional frustration. This is one of the games we found to be the most broken. Many parts weren't loading as expected, and we spent about 15 minutes just trying to figure out how to start the bloody thing, due to its complicated controls. However, when the game works, it feels excellent, with meticulous attention to detail and an appealing aesthetic. DJMN Lines really captures the feel of the London Underground, combining authenticity with that touch of cathartic clunkiness that adds to the overall experience. From what I've heard, the behind-the-scenes group management and rankings are a bit of a nightmare, but for those simply seeking an underground simulation, once it works, it's a solid choice for sure, making it number 12 on our list. Whitecoast City Railway is another train sim where you're expected to grind your way up and get better and better trains. It boasts some decent scenery, a commendable selection of unlockable trains, and offers players a satisfying grind to earn them. The absence of glaring glitches contributes to a decently smooth gaming experience. However, I found that the game's simplicity teeters on the edge of being overly simplistic. The joint throttle brakes responsiveness lacks the weighty feel of a real train, and I was finding it much easier just to slam on the emergency brake at every station, than to try and be in any way precise with stopping at the platform. Additionally, the abundance of on-screen UI elements I found to be a bit overwhelming, and navigating the awkward map was a pain, especially with every player in our group having a completely different version of the map on each of our screen. The route scheduling, a key part of the game, seemed entirely broken, telling me that, despite me travelling faster than the speed limit for the majority of my route, and even missing several stations, I was still somehow late for my final destination. While it may lack the complexity of SCR, Whitecoast City Railway is a more accessible alternative that doesn't require extensive prior knowledge. For me personally, it's too simple and lacks the detail that some of the games further up the list have, while still providing a solid core game experience, hence its position here in 11th. Terminal Railways also embraces an arcade-style approach and completely avoids the pursuit of realism altogether. It offers a wide variety of trains from many different countries, even including a few additional fun fantasy trains, contributing to the game's playful nature. Whilst the map is relatively straightforward, the way that the passenger system works, with less visited stations being more profitable, can be tad perplexing and awkward to work around. Terminal Railway simplicity translates into a somewhat repetitive gameplay loop, which, whilst providing quick fun, can also lead to quicker boredom. Once considered to be one of the premier train games on Roblox, Terminal Railways seems to carry a touch of nostalgia for many veteran players. However, in the face of advancements made by other train games in recent years, it now stands at my list's 10th place. MBTA Providence Line Train Simulator, try saying that 3 times fast. Another row scale game, this one presenting a mixed bag of positives and negatives. The user interface is one of the best we've seen so far, making it more intuitive in all except its spawn menu, which remains convoluted. The row scale environment once again allows for a larger map, but is dominated by long, thin stretches of track, creating realistic yet monotonous experiences. The incorporation of rural and urban areas injects variety, adding interest to the gameplay. The absence of a cab view is notable, especially for players who seek a more realistic experience. However, there is a nose view that's close enough, and as far as the true-to-life sensation of driving a train goes, MBTA is certainly stand out. The game excels in attention to detail, especially with working doors that open realistically, even based on carriage placement to the platform. And so, despite those interface challenges, MBTA Providence Line Train Simulator, offers enough to place it in 9th place. Itty Railway stands out as one of the most distinctive entries on the entire list, offering a tycoon experience where players meticulously craft their miniature railway networks, investing hours in delightful decorations. I do wish there was a more diverse creative toolkit for the railways, and the game limits players to point-to-point rails without options for junction signalling or track sharing. The gameplay can be clunky, lacking intricate detail to really spruce up your network, and a lot of the cooler decorations are locked behind game passes. Yet despite this, its main selling point is the sheer amount of creativity able to be unleashed in this game, and absolutely sets it apart from any other game on this list. The game is accessible with a simple UI and a passionate creator. The main issue is undeniably the game passes, with some core experiences, like simply being able to drive the trains that you build, or shrink yourself down, just being locked behind game passes. All in all, Itty Railway is an endearing but somewhat constrained tycoon experience that caters to simplicity and charm, rather than an intricate gameplay experience. It still allows for a lot of creativity and fun within its Itty world, meaning that I'm placing it here in 8th place. Rail Sim Universe offers a gorgeous looking experience at a cost that absolutely does not align with the current content. The game boasts impressive graphics, showcasing detailed scenery and a well-designed user interface. However, the peculiar and outright terrible lobby experience detracts from the overall game experience. With a very limited selection of trains and only one available route, the game falls short in variety and replay value, whilst the potential for greatness is evident, particularly if development does continue. The current state does not justify the steep 500 Robux price tag. Rail Sim Universe pre-release is a promising project with room for improvement, making it an investment for those willing to gamble on its future potential, putting it here in 7th place. Trainware emerges as a visual standout among its counterparts, showcasing a brilliant UI, stunning scenery, meticulous model design, and a game that could just simply easily be mistaken for a premium full-price Steam game. Trainware is by far the best and most professionally looking game on the entire list. However, it is not without limitations. There is only one model and one available route. Whilst the realistic passengers may veer into the uncanny, the potential for Trainware is undeniable. The more reasonable cost, especially compared to the last entry, makes it an attractive prospect, but the current playability is restricted due to the limited content. Enthusiasts must rely on the hope that ongoing progress will expand the game's offerings in the future. Trainware is a promising title that captivates visually but leaves players yearning for more, leaving it here in 6th place. Grand Continental Railway presents a visually appealing and straightforward experience with a well-designed map and commendable selection of trains. However, the absence of a progression system and the prominence of several Game Pass-only trains may limit the overall player experience. Positioned as a jack of all trades, the game lacks a distinct specialisation, offering a big circle map that, whilst enjoyable, doesn't distinguish itself significantly. Whilst Grand Continental Railways does incorporate many cool details, it falls short in terms of regular updates, which impacts its long-term appeal. As a simplified alternative, it competes directly with SCR, but currently lacks the depth to emerge as the standout choice. The game's charm lies in its simplicity, yet its potential could also be fully realised with more frequent updates and more refined features. Steam and Steel distinguishes itself as one of the most unique and realistic steam engine games on Roblox, placing a strong emphasis on economy and resource management. Whilst the game excels in offering a distinct experience, its user interface does fall slightly short, plagued by some glitchy placement and a challenging learning curve. Managing resources and exploring interesting regional themes are highlights, especially when enjoyed with friends, albeit at a relatively high cost of 240 Robux. Frequent updates and a passionate fanbase contribute to the game's ongoing appeal, evident in the creation of impressive railways. However, the steep learning curve and inadequate tutorial explanations, particularly concerning essential features like re-railing, pose notable challenges for new players. Steam and Steel holds promise, but requires refinement, and definitely some clearer tutorials to fully realise its potential. However, with all that said, this is the game that I've put the most hours of the whole Roblox platform for the last couple of months, and I cannot wait to see where Steam and Steel goes next, easily earning its place at number 4. Stepford County Railway reigns supreme as the go-to Roblox train simulator, featuring a vibrant UK-based map, a good number of trains, and intuitive multiplayer options. With realistic yet simple scenery and almost flawless performance, it's undeniably polished and entertaining. Whilst the progression system could be simplified, the game's physics are excellent, and the point system as a rewarding incentive to keep working your way through missions. Despite its focus on repetitive passenger routes and weird training complexities for certain roles, Stepford County Railway stands tall as the most popular Roblox train simulator and a definitive must-try for any Roblox rail enthusiasts, easily pushing up into third place. Streamline offers a visually stunning steam simulation set in a historic Netherlands countryside. The game's slow yet satisfying progression system encourages extended play, even if it can be a little on the grindy side. The map is decently sized, but could benefit from some more improved scenery. The UI is simple yet clean, complementing the easy and straightforward gameplay. However, the oversimplified controls for trains, lacking the nuances of some more real steam train functionalities, like a reverser, coupling, steam pressure, all leaves room for improvement. Drawing inspiration from Steam and Steel could go a long way in enhancing the depth of the experience. With a relatively affordable price tag, Streamline caters to enthusiasts and new players alike, with a diverse selection of steam and diesel trains. Overall, Streamline is a unique and very enjoyable steam simulator, and one that I've personally spent some of the most time with of all the games on this list, meaning that I'm more than happy to put it here in second place. British Railway, to me, stands out as the crown jewel among Roblox train simulators, offering a breathtaking map and meticulously crafted models that captivate players. Whilst progression is slow, it's more deliberate, and the game boasts a dedicated fanbase, drawn to its realistic handling and controls, setting it apart from the more arcadey feel of similar titles such as SCR. The expansive selection of trains, routes, and intuitive UI, coupled with excellent multiplayer options, allowing for things like passengers or guards, contribute to a thoroughly immersive and fun experience. The game's realistic scenery adds to the allure, and it performs seamlessly with no noticeable bugs that I found. Despite its focus on repetitive passenger routes, British Railways remains polished, entertaining, and arguably the best on the list. Whilst the addition of more trains and routes would definitely enhance variety, overall, the environment and effects elevate British Railway to the pinnacle of Roblox train simulators. As I wrap exploring these fantastic Roblox train simulators, I must stress that this is only my list, and I've genuinely enjoyed each and every one. I'm certain your preferences might shuffle this list differently, and so I'm really eager to hear your thoughts and opinions. So please, share them in your comments below. If you're a fellow Roblox train enthusiast, or you're keen on more content like this, feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons, or don't do that at all. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and until next time, that's me, Patron, out.